We are just one day away from the start of the biggest extravaganza in cricketing history. The start of the ICC Cricket World Cup in India is going to happen tomorrow. The first match is going to be the repeat of the final in 2019, the greatest final in the World Cup history. We are going to get a repeat of that. It's going to be England who will defend their World Cup title in the opening game against New Zealand. That's going to be a massive game because these two teams have played each other recently in England. The ODI series, it was a four-match ODI series with England, which England won by 3-1. It's been a magnificent, days, couple of weeks, the World Cup, because it's always like that. Leading up to a big event, especially here in the subcontinent, the Indian crowd, the Indian, culture, everything's going to be, up for show in this event. So I'm going to preview. I will hopefully preview every game. The first of all, I'm going to preview match day one. It's going to be England against New Zealand. We'll look at what is the England team. We'll look at the bowlers like Topley, like Wood, like Archer. I believe he is or not. I'm not sure. But Adil Rashid is going to be key for England. Who I will tell you as well who I think is going to win this game. Uh, I've seen New Zealand play a lot. I saw their warm-up games against Pakistan and South Africa, which they won both of them. They defeated Pakistan fair and square, but the South African game was a bit different. It was they won because of the DLS method, because the Africans were winning it. But the fact of the matter is, England against New Zealand is always it's a great game to watch, and it's the opening game. It's the first time I believe in history that the host team is not going to play the opening game. Otherwise, it's almost like England played their first game in 2019. Australia did it in 2015. So we'll see what happens. This time, India is not going to play their own game first. They'll play on Sunday against Australia. But here we are going to preview England against New Zealand. This is going to be a huge game, I believe, because this is a game that will give momentum. This is a big game. It's a big game in a sense because this will give momentum in a sense like England, if they know their strength is batting with the likes of Ben Stokes, who's back from ODI retirement, Josh Butler, and all the other guys as well. This is going to be a key game. Because momentum in a tournament is everything. They have to set the standards from the start. England have to win this game because they're defending the title and they're going to be. But they are one of the favorites. Almost everyone has put England in their top four for the semi-finalists, and England are one of the favorites to win this World Cup. They could be the first team ever after Australia to retain the World Cup title, but it's going to be very different because they're far away from home and with different conditions. Spinners is going to be key, and that's where New Zealand, I believe, has a great advantage because they have got two fantastic spinners and a one who's now been integrated into the team and it's going to do very well in my opinion. Which his name is Ravindra, not Jadeja of India, Ravindra. And but the thing about New Zealand that going to give them advantage is Trent Bolt is in fantastic form. We saw that in the England series. We saw that against Bangladesh, and then Tim Southee is to come back as well. Adam Mill is a great bowler. New Zealand have a fantastic team, and from what I saw in the warm-up games, they have a pretty good grip on the condition. Like they've got one of the best leg spinners in the world in Ich Sodhi, who's always performed well in India. He's always done that in his career, and he can bat it well. And then Santner, who's played his IPL cricket, he's played so much IPL cricket. He's been to India before. He was there in the 20 World Cup all those years ago. These are two key season campaigners for New Zealand. All right, so it's a big game. It's going to be a tough game for England. Sorry for some problem, but as I was saying, this is going to be a great game. And the reason I think New Zealand is going to win because they have a pretty good grip on the game, on the conditions of India. They've got better spinners than England. The key area for me is going to be the New Zealand batting, because if they can match the electricity and the power and the finesse of England batting, I think New Zealand can do well in this game. And New Zealand, this has got a revenge of that final defeat for New Zealand written all over it, in my opinion. I think New Zealand are going to get that revenge. They're going to start the World Cup well, and I think this will put a lot of doubts and a lot of confirmation. I pose these things, doubt and confirmation in mind of so many people, because so many people have not put New Zealand in the top four. I have. I have put New Zealand in my top four. I have gone with New Zealand, India, Pakistan, and Australia. I don't. England is going to be key. This is where these games, like England against New Zealand, England against India, Australia, and Pakistan, this is going to be, this is massively important. These games are going to be important. Starting with the a massive game between New Zealand and England. So I'm going for New Zealand. Do let me know in the comment section what do you think is going to win the opening game. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. See you soon, guys. The World Cup has just begun.